Pokemon. It seems cheerful, right? You get to catch all the animals you want and have them as companions. What if you lived in that world? Would it be fun? Well, maybe at first. But you will quickly realize that it's a dangerous task, and I'll get to that in a moment. Fun fact, did you know that Pac-Man's original name was actually Puckman? Yeah, I didn't know that either. Well, before researching, and by researching I mean going online and just typing up video game facts, and then I just went on an article and just read it because, hey, I'm not an omnipresent video game doer. I don't know everything about games. Let's get back to our daily programming. Living in the Pokemon world seems pretty fun, doesn't it? Well, I will tell you this right now. Living with animals with powers may seem fun on the surface, but it's very deadly and dangerous. I mean, just look at the many Pokédex entries that state very disturbing things about certain Pokemon that you do not want to encounter. Let's talk about regular Pokemon first. You're not Ash. You're not going to be electrocuted by a Pikachu and be perfectly fine 2 seconds later like a cartoon character. Ash is just built different. In fact, everybody in the anime built different. They could just do that stuff. If you get shocked by a Pikachu once, your heart is going to stop and you are going to drop dead. Now, it may seem fun, but then there are also multiple Pokemon that will literally hunt you down and want to kill you. I mean, imagine this. Imagine you're walking to a Pokemart. You want to get some Pokeballs, you know? You want to catch some Pokemon. You have a level 1 Rattata, and you're ready to go. But then, you hear a strange sound. You hear a bunch of buzzing. And you see some Vicunas? Huh, I could catch one of those. But as you attempt to catch one, bam! 100 Beedrills stare at you from the skies, extremely pissed off that you just attempted to actually take one of their own. And you know what happens next? Your level 1 Rattata doesn't stand a chance. You think you can fight off 100 Beedrills? Hell, even 20! Hell, even 5! That Beedrill is at least level 16. It's getting one shot. And then what do? Do you try to fight the Beedrill? They're giant bees. Giant wasps, I mean. They're going to poke your stomach open with their stingers. They're going to go through your stomach and you are going to die. There's no way in hell you're surviving. And then there's also other Pokemon like Gengar. Imagine you're just walking home one night. You're just, taking a little stroll. You're heading home after having a good old time at a party. You got some drinks. You had a few alcoholic beverages and you're heading home. But then you hear some weird noises. The air starts getting chilly. Was it always this cold? Then you hear some laughter. As the Pokédex says, a Gengar will like to chase after humans, especially ones that are alone. And if you feel a chill down your spine, especially at night, there's no escape. You're done. Accept your fate. That's what it says. It pretty much tells you, you are fucked. You are not going to live this. So just accept it. Accept your death. Accept it with open arms. That's messed up. And I could literally go on to many other Pokemon that are so dangerous and actively hunt you at the same time. It would not be a fun experience, I'll tell you that. I may not have died before. I don't plan on it anytime soon. But I can imagine getting taken by a sadistic ghost that comes out of your shadow and drags you to a weirdish hellscape pocket dimension of his own making is going to be torturous. Especially if it wants to keep you alive and use you as a food source. In fact, he may even see you as a plaything that he can just whack and stuff. Sure, in the anime, when Ash met a Gengar, the Gengar was pretty, goofy and chill, and just like to scare people. But as much as there are nice Pokemon, there is ones that probably hate you. What if there's an abused Pokemon out there that's been hurt its whole life and dislikes humans? What if it sees you as a threat? What are you gonna do? If you have no Pokemon, what are you gonna do to fight it off? Sure, I could probably beat some low-level bug Pokemon that are like level 1. You could probably kick a Caterpie away. You could probably beat that. But a Beedrill? A Gengar? Hell, even a Pikachu? You have no chance. When we get to the Pokédex entries, they get really disturbing. For one, Gengar is implied to have once been a human who's died and became a Pokemon. I mean, just imagine you yourself, you're old. You're finally going to live in peace. Or maybe you're just an average kid. You're just riding your bike. But then, crash! A drunk driver hits you. You both collide. And you fall into blackness. You wake up. And you go, am I alive? What happened? Where am I? You look at your hands. These weren't my hands. Why are they purple? Have claws. You look in a puddle. You realize you're not a human anymore. You're a Gengar? But what if a Pokeball is thrown at you? You try to escape, but it's no use. Clink. Trainer Gabby has just caught a Gengar. You're inside of a Gengar. You're inside of a ball. You're scared. You have no idea what the hell is going on. You try to you're released. You try to tell the little girl, hey, I was once a human. You gotta let me go. She doesn't understand what you're saying. All you're saying is, Gengar, Gengar, Gengar. What, you think she understands Poke language? Huh? Matter of fact, you tell the other Pokemon pals over there, they're gonna be laughing at you. They're like, what? You human? Though, it's not all bad. Considering now that you're a Pokemon, you don't have any human limitations. And being a Pokemon with a good trainer, like Ash, or a good trainer like our main characters that we usually play as, does have some benefits, especially if you're always taken with them. So, it probably wouldn't be so bad depending on the circumstances. However, what is always going to be bad is if we're talking about the legendary Pokemon. Oh, you thought regular Pokemon were bad? Well, just listen to this. I mean, us humans can be pretty stupid, but making an experiment with the DNA of a legendary Pokemon with psychic powers seems pretty dubious. Especially when that Pokemon, you just state to its face, yeah, you're an experiment, we're gonna experiment more on you. And then the Pokemon rightfully gets pissed off because he thinks you just see it as just a thing to be tested on. And then he kills everyone. He blows up the lab. And now he wants to destroy humanity because he thinks all humans are bad. What terrible encounters would you have? I mean, how are you gonna fight a legendary Pokemon? You saw what it did in the movie, didn't you? A Gyarados shot a hyper beam at it, it waved his hand, and casually deflected it. A whole ass, giant lizard water thing shot a giant Kamehameha at this man, and he deflected it. And we saw what Ash tried to do. He tried to punch Mewtwo. Literally, his barrier protected him. He didn't even flinch or move. He was just caught in a psychic bind and just thrown back casually. He didn't even try to hurt him because he didn't need to. He's a regular ass human. There are certain other Pokemon like Groudon and Kyogre. Them both fighting was going to flood the entire world. And not only that, but shift the continents themselves if they kept fighting. Literally everybody was just accepting their fate. They were all like, yep, we're gonna die. We're either gonna drown or we're gonna fucking fall into the abyss. So there's pretty much it's a lose-lose situation. There's nothing you can do unless in a 1 point quadrillion % chance you throw a Pokeball and manage to catch both of them. But what are the chances of you catching a legendary Pokemon by not only not weakening it, but catching it with a regular Pokeball? The odds are not in your favor. And considering they're already angry at each other, they're not going to stand by and just be captured. No. Unless Rayquaza comes down from the heavens, which he usually does, you're absolutely screwed. You have no chance. Pretty much, it goes to show you that even a game that seems to be kid-friendly, and it is kid-friendly, I mean, it is Pokemon, a world that seems magical and fun can be extremely dangerous once you take a second glance at it. It's like you questioning a video game sometimes. You probably would be like, what would it be like to live in that world? But once you really think about it, orgs, ghouls, dragons, demons, gods, what's the odds of you surviving? If you had their power sets, maybe. But a regular human like you and I? Well, that odd is literally 0%. So yeah, that is it for today. I hope you like my rambling about Pokemon and the fact that if we were to be in their world, we would absolutely die. So, what do you guys think? Do you think you can survive the Pokemon world? Are you cocky enough to actually try to fight a legendary like Mewtwo or Groudon? And why the hell would you? You would die instantly? So, yeah. Comment that down below to see what other Pokemon I missed and what more I could mention, maybe if I make another one or something. So yeah, this is Chris from Let's Talk Franchises, and this is me signing out. Bye.